Hi, I'm Steve Smith, and this is the Lookup Obscast for July. Hi there. I started doing the monthly Looking Up articles mainly to inform members new to astronomy about the many changing objects that come around each month during our yearly orbit of the Sun. There's always plenty to see if you are aware of what is currently up there. So, when the next observing opportunity presents itself, be prepared with an achievable list of objects to see. That way you will get to see a lot more stuff and build up your repertoire of favourite objects. You can pick some targets from my Looking Up article or scan through magazines like Astronomy Now or Sky at Night, or from apps, star charts, etc. Let me give you an example that I have just seen today. I was reading through the July edition of the Sky at Night magazine when I read about the moon's object of the month, namely the Sea of Tranquility, or Mare Tranquillitatis, where 53 years ago, on the 21st of July 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first man to set foot on the moon. This area is best viewed when the shadows cast by the sun reveal lots of crater and ridge details in this area, and shows discernible contrast between it and neighbouring Mare Serenitatis and Mare Nectaris, which are the two big Mare next to it. The best times during July is 4 days after full moon on the 7th to the 9th of July, or 5 days after the new moon, which is the 21st to the 24th of July. So the information's there, and that's be a good target to have a look at. I'm going to have a go at that myself. Okay, so let's turn to more of this month's highlights. It's July. The sun never sinks much below the UK's horizon this month, meaning it will not get much darker than nautical twilight until the very end of July, when the darker astronomical twilight will again return. Meanwhile, let's enjoy the balmy weather. Saturn, with its magnificent rings, rises well before midnight, and mighty Jupiter, with its impressive array of Galilean moons, will also be rising before midnight by the end of the month. The Sun, where the object to see as its solar cycle increases in activity, giving us plenty of coronal mass ejections and sunspots to see. You may be familiar with the Summer Triangle. It consists of an asterism of 3 alpha stars, Deneb in Cygnus, Altair in Aquila, and Vega in Lyrae. It forms a large triangle in the summer skies that we've become accustomed to and look forward to seeing each summer, like we look forward to Orion in the winter or the spring galaxies in the springtime. The Summer Triangle and the background Milky Way that runs through it provides lots of goodies to look at, including rich star fields, nebulae like the M57, Ring Nebula, and M27, the Dumbbell Nebula. Also, globally clusters like M56, which is right next door to M57, and more asterisms like the Kotanga in Vulpecula, and Job's Coffin, which is part of Delphinus. They all abound. Indeed, our summer Milky Way makes a wonderful sight around midnight as it flows up from the southern horizon, passing through the Summer Triangle and continues northwards across the sky. If you get the chance to see the Milky Way, especially from a dark location, take a few minutes to admire this awesome view of our home galaxy. Take a closer look using binoculars and resolve it further into myriads of stars. The Milky Way may be just one of billions of galaxies, but it is our local neighbourhood and our home. July's annual meteor shower, the Delta Aquarids, can be seen from mid-July to mid-August each year, peaking around the 30th of July this year. There's more detail in the EH. Also, keep an eye out for noctilucent clouds. 'Tis the season, but the season drops off during August, so now's your chance. Okay, more now on Venus. Venus is currently on our side of the Sun and approaching closer to us, and therefore looking bigger to us. Its impressive crescent appearance changes dramatically during July, so why not look at it during the day? Venus looks great in the evening sky, but through a telescope in a dark sky after sunset, Venus's dazzling intense brightness can work against it, as does its low altitude. During the daytime, Venus gets higher in the sky, so there is less atmosphere to look through and steadier seeing conditions. Also, the blue sky improves its contrast, making it ideal to see through a telescope. These factors make observing Venus in the daytime a better prospect if you can find it. But please note, I have to say this, use extreme caution when viewing Venus during the day due to its close vicinity to the Sun. For example, setting up your scope in the safe shadow of a building or other solid structure is a good way to safely block out the Sun. Right, to locate Venus during the day may not be easy. With practice, you can find it by eye, or use a go-to-enabled mount, or setting circles on a scope that was already pre-aligned the night before. And then I think you will find it's worth it. The moon is a similar target that can be viewed during the day, so that's just something a bit different, something that you can do during the day. Okay, deep sky on show. As always, last month's items mostly apply. Sagittarius, the Archer, is at opposition on the ecliptic this month. The brightest stars in Sagittarius form an asterism that is perhaps easier recognised these days as the teapot rather than an archer. The centre of the Milky Way lies in this constellation. The Sagittarius star cloud, M24, is the densest region in the Milky Way. The whole area is rich with star clusters and nebulae, making it a spectacular sight through binoculars. There are many open clusters in Sagittarius. The Looking Up article gives more info, but here's just to name a few. M18 is a sparse cluster with about 20 stars. There's M25, M23, M21, etc. M21 is a diamond-shaped cluster with about 70 stars of 8th magnitude and fainter. More details are in the EH. Now for a few globular clusters. Okay, there's several. M22 is considered one of the finest globular clusters in the sky and is the closest globular cluster to our solar system. It's got a visual magnitude of plus 5.1, and it can be seen with binoculars or even the naked eye on a clear night. There's lots of others up there this time of year. Other bright Messier globulars listed in the EH in Sagittarius include M28, M54, M55, M69. I could go on. These are all rewarding sights in medium aperture telescopes. Globulars are bright, and during the summer, we're looking for bright objects. On a clear dark night, if you look at the area directly above the spout of Sagittarius's teapot, you can see M8, the famous Lagoon Nebula. This glowing cloud of gas and dust appears nearly 1 degree in diameter, and it's a highlight of the summer sky. M8 is a spectacular object in a small telescope, and it's nearly as impressive as M42, the Great Orion Nebula. Very close to it, the Trifid Nebula, M20. It's another striking nebula just north of M8. You can sometimes get it in the same field of view. So there's more detail on that in the EH. I've got Barnard's Galaxy as well, NGC 6822. I spoke about this one before, perhaps, but it's a dwarf irregular galaxy, and it's only 1.6 million light years away. It's the closest galaxy to our galaxy that is not gravitationally bound to us, like the large Magellanic Cloud or the small Magellanic Clouds. Elsewhere, let's look at M14, Messier 14. It's a globular cluster in the constellation of Ophiuchus. There's a photo of globular cluster M14 in the EH. At magnitude plus 7.6, M14 can easily be observed with binoculars. Medium-sized telescopes show a hint of individual stars, the brightest of which are 14th magnitude. There are many more objects, along with more info in the Looking Up article in July's EH. It would be good to hear from you about any observing sessions you may have had. Or if you see me up at the OBS, we can have a chat about any of this stuff. So this is Steve Smith, wishing you all clear skies and lots of wow moments. Bye for now.
Thank you very much to Steve for another incredible lookup section. There are just a couple of announcements to end on. Our annual general meeting will be held on the 12th of July, that's a Wednesday, at the Academy Transformation Trust for Further Education on High Pavement, Sutton Centre. And our society talk this month will be by Dr. Emma Chapman, with a talk titled Searching for the First Stars in the Age of JWST. Emma has a book that came out in 2020 called First Light, Switching on the Stars at the Dawn of Time, a book that I highly recommend. We also have a solar day on the 29th of July. If you are a member of MSAS and can volunteer for that day, please get in touch with Brendan Schooler. If you are a member of the public and wish to get tickets for that day, please check our social media accounts for information on how to get tickets. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to the Obscast, and we will see you next time.